All right, end of turn 3. Another hectic round. Movement saw a couple charges. Magic, once again, 4 power dice. Nobody was casting anything. Shooting phase, I lost 1 knight. That's about it. Close combat, however, saw that combat go at it. My Shadow Guard versus the High Elf Spearmen. About 8 Spearmen were killed, but they were able to hold since they're steadfast, and they reformed to face them. So it'll be a more interesting combat this time. The Silver Helms charged this building, managed to kill all the rest of the cultists, but the Sorceress here ended up killing the Battle Standard Bearer for the High Elves, and she ended up holding. Over here, my Chariot was charged by all the things, and actually it came down to the Hydra. All the rest of the elves there had attacked and didn't manage to kill it. Took the Hydra to attack it to take it down, so tied up a lot of resources. I'm not all that unhappy about it. We're coming to the top of turn 4. Just to bring you a note from our sponsor, this game today is brought to you by Five Guys. Taste the death. Alright, here we are at the end of turn 4. It's getting down to the wire, and right now the Shadow Legion is behind. We'll go through that here in a second. Charges, we had the Hell Cannon come at the Executioners. Executioners lost combat, so have lost their frenzy, but they managed to hold. They did 2 wounds to the Hell Cannon, while the Hell Cannon managed to kill 6?
Yep.
Something like that.
And we also killed a dwarf.
And the Hell Cannon has lost another dwarf, so he's down to 1. There was going to be a combat here. My Shadow Hounds had charged into the side of the cavalry. However, all the archers over here...
66. They didn't do shit because they couldn't.
Well, right, they can't hit, but...
66 plus 6.
66 shots from archers and 12 more shots from bolt throwers. Yeah, that combat got riddled, and all my dogs died, and 4 of the knights died. So, the Hydra Lucky was here. He wasn't so lucky against Zephaniah. Zephaniah claimed another large target or hero kill, therefore, here's the homage to Lucky. Dead. So now Zephaniah is increased to even higher power. Never actually had him this high, so it's kind of cool. Over here, the Spearman versus the Shadow Guard. The Spearman made a remarkable amount of saves, made like 5 armor saves to keep themselves from getting beat in combat. So they actually beat the Shadow Guard, but Shadow Guard managed to hold. But I don't know how long they'll be able to take those losses. There's only 10 of them, or 9 of them left, plus Zuriel. So, with all of Shay's cultists killed from the building, she didn't want to take 66 shots herself, so she abandoned ship, is currently hiding. So right now, the Shadow Legion has no points captured. We still got 1 for the Dark Elves, and the High Elves have lost like 1 of theirs out of that tower. So going into turn 5, it's not looking good for the Shadow Legion. So we'll see what happens in turn 5 and 6. Okay, here we are at the end of turn 5. Kind of just more of the same from the last turn. Dark Elves are pushing in their advancing position here. I really need a light on the end of this thing. It's really... this phone just kind of doesn't have a good camera. But Dark Elves continue to hold their position pretty strong with all their archers here. Really, we're going to have a spotlight for him, a lightsaber.
Not really worked too well.
The Dark Elves are continuing to hold their position here. Battle Standard Bearer right behind them to hold them in case they start to break. And of course they still have their control point here. I did take my control point back with just a unit of dogs. They're holding it now, hoping to try and hold out. Fangry is coming in here for a flank charge against the Hell Cannon, which managed to deal a couple more wounds here, but didn't take any back, but didn't manage to break them, so he's going to be in a tough fight here. Zephaniah and his unit of knights took a couple casualties, but managed to weather the arrow storm from the Dark Elves, and managed to kill off the rest of the Silver Helms. Actually, never mind, they're right here. So they'll die sometime soon. over here, the Warriors of Chaos Shadow Guard unit managed to beat the Spearmen this time, but did not manage to break them. So the idea of getting them to go away so that I can take their tower is out. Their tower is still occupied by, what, 17 archers? 15 archers. So right now we're looking at a stalemate. It'll probably come down to victory points. I don't know how we're going to work that out with 3 people, but we'll find a way. Coming up on turn 6, the end of the game encroaches. Let's see who's going to pull it out. Taking bets now. All right, here we are at the end of this massive, massive game. 7,500 points on models on the board. Good God. Well, turn 6 was pretty nail-biting, actually. Well, we're starting to clean up, but Fangry and the Executioners came down to the Executioners' attacks, ended up killing the Hell Cannon.
Yes!
The Hell Cannon might have been able to hold that fight if he got to the Thunderstomp part, but he got wiped. About half of the archers from the tower, got wiped due to Zephaniah casting Infernal Gateway. I call it the Siege Comet. The Shadow Guard continued to butcher the Spearmen, but didn't manage to kill enough to break them. All in all, there was a lot of death and destruction on the last turn. Going by the victory points alone, with the tower, the house, and the floating island thing over here, we each controlled 1 at the end of the game, so it was basically a tie. Going by victory points, it could have been either the Warriors of Chaos or the Dark Elves, depending on how you wanted to count it. Warriors of Chaos came out slightly higher in points just because they killed the dragon at the beginning of the game, which was about 600 point net. Sheer number of kills definitely went to the Dark Elves.
Slay.
So
I didn't kill shit. I turned them into slaves.
so tie game, very interesting. The most nail-biting part here, Zuriel is a custom Chaos Sorcerer. Oh yeah, he's still in there, isn't he? He has the Ethereal rule, so he took the charge of the Blackguard without fearing it at all. Well, Magic Phase rolled around, and the Dark Elves trolled the shit out of him. They threw a lot of power into Final Transmutation. Zuriel threw all his power back to dispel it, and was helpless to dispel Enchanted Blades of Aben, which actually gave them, the Blackguard, magical attacks. So they almost got him. They took him down by 2 wounds. He only had a wound left. So he managed to escape this fight just by the skin of his ghostly teeth.
So close.
He has still never fallen in battle. And he's about 5 games under his belt now.
Still the most damage he's ever taken.
Still, it's the only damage he's ever taken. So yeah, Dark Elves really gave everybody a run for their money here today. But,
My Dark Elves didn't blow themselves up this time.
Yeah, you only had the 1 miscast. You only reduced yourself to level 2. So, hell of a game. A lot of fun. I think everybody enjoyed it. Tom blew everything up. Sarah lost a dragon. And I got to chop and destroy everything with Zephaniah. I love that model. I love that character. I can't wait to upgrade him whenever he has enough kills for him. But, this is going to be us signing out. That's Tom with the Dark Elves. I'm going to say standing victorious here today. Sarah with the High Elves standing there. And the Anomaly of Awesome signing out.